Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is BookList Thursday. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. Now, full disclosure, my kids are still home. They won't be going back to school for this 2019-2020 school year, so they're going to be around a few times, a little bit. So if you hear things like that, or Looney Tunes or whatever, it's just them. So please forgive me. But okay, so today's BookList Thursday theme is, so you want to start a good series. So a number of us have had some extra time on our hands, and we wanted to give you recommendations this week on some series that you could potentially start reading, that you might find yourself lost in a little bit, or maybe help get your reading mojo back. I know it's been kind of hit or miss for me personally, whether or not I want to read a lot or not. Currently, all I want to do is read, but then I'll all of a sudden hit a day where I don't want to do anything. So both are totally fine. So this is for if you hit that day that you really want to read. Here are some good series options that I highly suggest that you pick up. So first and foremost, when I tell people about a series, if they're looking for something to get completely lost in and they are a fan of fantasy, this is usually my go-to, other than Harry Potter, but we don't need to talk about Harry Potter today. So A Court of Thorns and Roses, this is by Sarah J. Maas. She also wrote the Throne of Glass series. But this one follows Feyre, who her and her family are struggling a little bit. They don't have a whole lot of money. They don't have a whole lot of food. So she goes out hunting one day and kills a wolf. Unbeknownst to her, the wolf is also a fae or fairy. And it's a magical wolf. She didn't know that. She drags it back and kind of then faces a little bit of a punishment from the fae, if that makes sense. So her payment or her retribution is she has to go back and live in this magical world with Tamlin, which is the person that came to confront her about what happened. And it goes from there. And it is, oh my God, it will suck you in. And I didn't think I was a big fan of fantasy books until I really kind of started picking these up. And this is one of my first ones that I did and was completely engrossed in it. It's 3 books plus like a little extra novella that goes with it. But they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. So there's my first one to get lost in. The next one I have is sort of a classic. This is one that I find there's multiple books in this series and they're fairly short, so you should be able to get through them. I have the bind up of all of them. How many are there? I don't even know. It's a big book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. That's what I thought. But Chronicles of Narnia, if you haven't picked this up, most people have really only read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and there's more. There are 7 stories that go with the Chronicles of Narnia. I did read this entire thing over one summer. It felt like the summer that I only read one book because it was legit just this whole thing. But another great series that you can completely get caught up in and lost in and in this other world, but there's such good lessons and such good ideals that come out of it, like you can't help but enjoy it all along the way. So I love it. It's probably time for a reread. Actually, I should get my kids involved in rereading that one. Maybe. Next one I have is my last kind of magical fantasy type book. It's Walk on Earth, a Stranger by Rae Carson. This follows our main character. Her name is Lee Westfall. She has an ability to find gold. So somehow in her, she can detect gold during the gold rush. So we follow that story and her adventures and her journey and what happens to her, and it is phenomenal. I've only read the first book. I need to get to the second, but trust me, it's a great book. It is YA, so it reads pretty quick. You know, big font, wide margins type thing. Goes fast, but really, really, really great book. So historical fiction / fantasy. We'll go with that. So then I have a couple, I guess, contemporary maybe is what you would call them. Mystery, not thriller, more mystery, action type books. type series. So the first one is Vince Flynn, and there is a series that follows our main character, Mitch Rapp, who is a CIA agent. And he is like Black Ops CIA agent. Officially, people don't really know about him, but unofficially, he can kick some major butt. It's a fantastic series that you get totally sucked up in, full of adventure, full of crazy things, keeps you on the edge of your seat. There's a little bit of politics involved, but it's awesome. Mitch Rapp is a really, really great character. Yeah, it's great. It's so great. So pick these up. I don't remember which one's the first one. I don't think it's American Assassin, but it could be. I always have to go up and look it up. This one says Pursuit of Honor is the first one, but I could be wrong. But look up Vince Flynn. It's fantastic. The next one I have is a series by Linda Castillo. She writes this series about our main character, who is Kate Burkholder. And Kate Burkholder grew up in the Amish community and ended up leaving the Amish community. And she goes on, gets her education. She becomes, was she a detective? She becomes part of the police force and eventually gets hired on as chief of police in a community that has Amish in it. And there are usually follows some sort of mystery, murder, some sort of crime. Each of the books follow that, but sticks with our same characters. So Kate's always the main character of each of them. The first book is called Sworn to Silence. I believe there's maybe 7 or 8 of them out. They are on Book Outlet, as well as I've seen Vince Flynn books on Book Outlet. If you're looking for that, this one actually came from Book Outlet because I've got my trusty little dot on there. But really quick reads. You get that mystery. It was the first one that I read was a little more intense than I expected it to be, which I really liked about it. But it's a really, really great series, again, to get lost in. So then I have a couple of suggestions of books that I haven't read yet, but are also series. So our friend Sarah J. Maas came out with a new series, the Crescent City series. So this is the first book, House of Earth and Blood, that just came out not that long ago, like in March, maybe February. This is a chunker, my friends. This is like 800 pages long, and these pages are like, they're thin, and that's a lot of words, but it's Sarah J. Maas, and I've loved her series before, so there's no reason why I shouldn't love this one. First of all, the end papers are gorgeous. Now, do we have a map? We have a map. So from what I understand, this is an urban fantasy, so it takes place in a city with modern kind of conveniences or modern world as we know it, but involves some angels and some demons and some adventure and some, I'm sure, crazy stuff. From the few people that have read this book, they have loved it. I need to get started. It's just, that intimidates me a little bit, but we'll get there. And then the last series that I haven't read that I want to talk about, I haven't seen a whole lot of talk on BookTube about it, but I saw it on Book Outlet, and I believe I first got wind of it through Instagram, I want to say. I'm not really sure what to call the series. The first book is actually Sawbones. It is by Melissa Lenhart. I have 2 of them. So I have Sawbones, I have Blood Oath, and I have the last one, which is called Badlands. So when I went to order these, all 3 of them were available in Book Outlet at the time, so I put them all in my cart, but then by the time I checked out, the first one was already sold out. So I have 2 of them. I just need to go and get the first one. But this is historical romance. You've got bandits, you've got bounty hunters, there's mystery, there's killer be killed. It sounds very adventurous, sounds historical fiction, fun. And I think our main character is a female. I don't want to read anything because this is the second book, so I don't want to spoil anything. But yes, our main character is a woman, which I always get excited about. So there's this series. First one is called Sawbones. That's what I got for you. Anyways, let me know if there's a good series that you found yourself getting lost in lately that I need to check out. Comment below. Otherwise, head on over to Sarah's channel and see what she has for some suggestions of series that we need to get lost in. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.